Hey, this is Arnell, this is level 3 performing arts, and basically what I'm going to do is a reflection and evaluation of the whole process that we have gone through of our FMP. So basically I'm going to be talking about how I develop my characters from start to finish, how the rehearsal process is going, and what methods we included in it, like Stanislavski's method, Meisen's, and all the methods, and what specific workshops that we did to help us build our character development, and how the rehearsal process had been going through this whole 5-week period that we did working on the road. So I'm going to be answering the following questions. So, explain jobs you practical schools using rehearsal, workshop, examples, and give the reasons for your answer. Okay, so how my practical skills have developed over the past couple 5 weeks and of a character or of my character. My practical skills have developed because I can appreciate of what character I'm playing, because I play multiple characters. I play Barry, I play Brian, I play Bold, I play a kid, and so my practical skills need to be on point for me to show to an audience and to everyone that I'm playing different characters and not necessarily need to be the same character, not to portray the same character. So the way I did this was I did some research on each character, because they're not very similar. They are similar in kind of ways, but they all have their differences. And so, for example, for Barry, I understand that he's kind of a rough, impatient man. And so, the way I want to portray that is I need to show that in my body language, and then show that in my characterization as well. So practical skills that I've done with Barry is that I used tone of voice. I made my voice get in kind of a deep tone, in kind of like a man, like a busy man, because at this point this character is trying to play dart, but Brenda is keeping on harassing him, keeping on asking him for drinks, and obviously that's going to really annoy Barry. And so I need to portray that, I need to show that I'm getting annoyed, I need to play the objective. The objective is to avoid her. The objective is to keep playing dance but try and get as far away from his husband. So I need to do that with my practical skills as well. Which is why pacing in Barry was key as well. So I made sure I had a good pace going up onto it, and I made sure that everything was smooth with Barry. That's Barry. Going on to Bold, my other character, Mr. Bold. Basically the scene is when Scullery is going through his house and trying to steal stuff. Obviously Bold is kind of he's saying about he's rough as well, and he's rough. He's not a very nice person. As for example, as when Bold is speaking to Scullery, and his wife speaks to him, oh, what's happening? Oh, kick him out. And then Bold immediately responds with, I'll kick you in a minute, which entitles and understands that he's quite of an abusive character. Kind of abusive, kind of verbal abusive, don't really talk about his wife, don't talk to his wife in a nice way. And so what I got from that character is he's very abusive, very rough, he's very similar to Barry, but Barry wasn't abusive. So how I want to portray that is I need to make sure not the same voice in Barry, maybe a little bit deeper and a little bit rough. A little bit more rougher, a little bit more tougher, a little bit more angrier, because Scullery is going through his house. And so throughout the weeks, I developed that, and I kept developing Bold, and making sure he's more angry, making sure I can come across as an abusive character as Bold. And so with that, body language is key for that as well, and characterization as well. That is very key for Bold, and is very key for his character and his persona to his wife, and also to Scullery as well. Okay, moving on from Bold, I would say I'll talk about the kid. The kid as well I play, but I won't go into much about that because it's not really a big thing. The original character's name was Chantel, but we changed it to like we haven't given it a name, but we just call me a kid. Basically, I come on stage. I come on when I'm on stage with Ashley, as if like I've just done something really bad, like through a brick through window, and I see Scullery, and I'm like, hey Scullery, you gotta like that. Scullery, you gotta like that. Entitles me, and that gives me the idea that this kid is like he's still a kid, but he wants to like mingle with the old people, old a lot, because he's asking like this the tramp Scullery for a lighter, and he knows his name and all that. So Scullery is a very known person to everyone. Even the kids want to look up to him. Go, you got a light. This kid might be about 11, 12 years old, and he's asked for a lighter, which means that he wants to smoke like cigarettes and stuff like that. Which means that this kid he's gone up too fast. He wants to be old, but he's still young at the same time, and he's getting him into mischief. He's asking for a lighter. He's asking for a lighter, and he's doing stuff no one should. And for me to portray practical skills in that, I need to have something of urgency. When I'm playing the kid, I need to have something of urgency that I just done something wrong, and so I really want to like get away from it as fast as possible. And so, with that, movement is key with that as well, because I'm running like, but I see Scullery and asking for a light, and then after the little dialogue between me and Scullery, Danny comes on and goes, oi, and with that urgent me to run off stage as well, because I don't want to get caught. And so facial expression is really key in that scene. Could be like, oh my god, I need to go, and then off like that. And yeah, that's for the kid. Just for the kid character. First we'll see what the kid character. My other character, Blowpipe. Blowpipe is he's like a follower to Scullery. He's like, I think his Scullery's like psychic or best friend, and so he's gonna do what Scullery does. He's gonna do everything that Scullery says, and so with that, I need to be more like Scullery, but a bit slow, because I get the sensitive idea that Blowpipe is a bit slow. He's not a bit fast enough to keep up with everyone else, and like that. So I get the idea that he's a bit more of a follower, that he needs a bit of a shove when it comes to like doing stuff and all that. And so body language in that needs to be consistent, because I want to show that I'm like Scully, but I'm not like him at the same time. So body language and facial expression and body language and use of voice as well. Like I can use my voice in like a really slow way, like be slurring my words and all that, or not understanding stuff Scully says. And so practical in that, which I've shown over the couple of weeks, is be more slow, be more dumb, using my tone of voice and all that, and yeah, that's what I have an idea for blowpipe about my practical skills and all that. Yeah, that's for blowpipe. The character that I need to focus on the most. This is the character I need to focus on the most because it's my I forgot the word. It was my given role, and it is a kind of big role in the second act because he has quite a big scene. The character's name is Brian. Brian is a father. He's also a husband to. He's also a husband to his wife Marion, which Brian only uses for sex. He don't really. He's kind of a bastard character, Brian. He's such a bastard, and so with that, I need all my commitment and all my energy. I'm not saying all the other characters need the level because they do, but Brian is the one I need to bring across the most because Brian is the one that Brian is the one who was actually my main character, and so my practicals with that, I've shown great facial expressions, I've shown great body language, I've shown great let's say chemistry when it comes to Marion, Selene, and throughout the weeks, because I didn't get to start Brian's actual scene until like 2 weeks ago, and seeing the development going from 2 weeks ago to now, I've seen a massive improvement. My characterization has improved a lot. My diction has improved a lot. It looks clear to an audience right now that I can play the objective. My objective is to get Marion upstairs, but is always getting interrupted by his daughter Linda and all that. Because this is quite a funny scene, so I need to bring Brian across as being funny, and being being loud, and things like that. And Marion's always yelling at him, always beating him up. Which there was a scene after I first come on with Marion, where me, Marion, and Precious Scarlet in the trolley. That is going to be a really funny scene, and that scene has developed from, I would say, when we first started it, because when we first got the idea that we were going to do Road, and first know that our play was called Road, we was given sections of the script of our given characters, or our characters for the time being, and I was given the trolley scene with Selene, and seeing it improve from that little scene that we didn't know we was gonna do because we didn't know that was our set of characters, to where it is now is a massive height, and it's not my practical skills for that character has been through the roof, I think, because I really like portraying Brian. I really like doing that scene with Selene, and I really like being in that character's moment, and so my practical skills have developed from that because I'm able to give a believable performance. And we did a workshop with about 2 weeks ago. We did a workshop with Zoe about our characters and finding our characters, and basically we did an exercise where we chose one character, and we did an improvisation scene on on what our character's childhood was like what would our child be like if he was a kid, what would he be like when this old, when he was like this old. And that workshop really did help me discover the character of Blowpipe, because I picked Blowpipe on that scene, and so seeing how Blowpipe was playing Blowpipe as a kid, I am now able to play him as an adult, but I can play him more in detail because I know what his backstory is like. Well, I created my own backstory for him So with the backstory, I know I can be able to play the adult version of him really good, and that that was really effective. I think that was the reason. That was the reason I think I can play both really well, because we did that workshop with Zoe, and it really did help me improve the character of Blowpipe. And yeah, that was the first question. Consider the ideas you had for development of your character. Consider the use of voice, movement, and characterization. I talked about all the characters in the first bit, and how I how I saw them and how I want to portray them. But only for this question, I will pick one character, and the character I'm going to pick is Brian. Basically, what I did, the idea that I had to develop Brian is throughout the weeks. I've been more I do the scene. I'm understanding Brian more. Like Brian is an alcoholic. Well, he likes to drink a lot. He's the father of a daughter who is about 12 years old, and he has an alcoholic as a wife who is always pestering him, always beating him up on that. And so I need to show that frustration. I need to show that urgency into Brian. And throughout the weeks, the idea that at first I had Brian as being quite rough, quite abusive and all that. But as I progressed more, I realised that Brian wasn't abusive. Brian wasn't abusive. He's just a bastard. But he never hit Marion. But Marion hits him, so Marion's the abusive one. But Brian he shouts her, yeah, he verbally abuses her, but he never hits her or anything. So that was the idea I had to begin with Brian. I would bring him out to be abusive, but it's more that I looked into the character, and the more I understood it, the more I read the script and read the stage directions. I read the character Bo online, and he is a bastard, he is, but I feel like he's not abusive, physically abusive. He's verbally abusive, but not physically. So what I did is I took the physical abuse side of it out of the equation, and I put the verbal abuse into him, and I discovered that he's quite a horny guy. He wants to have sex all the time with Marion, and so I need to show that energy. That I need to play that objective that I want to go into bed all the time, and so throughout weeks I need to. For that to work, I needed to work on the bond with me and Celine and the chemistry, because if the chemistry don't work, then the scene won't work at all. So we read through the script a couple of times, read through it as our characters, read through it without even staging it just yet, and that worked on the bond, it worked on the chemistry. Then when we actually staged it, it worked really well, because you can show we're an old married couple, we're always fighting, arguing, all that. Brian's always trying to get married in his bed, and always trying to get married in his bed, and always just pesterizing her in a way, which brings to. I'm playing the objective to always get the Marion into bed. That's the method used by Stanislavski. Stanislavski always playing the objective, always have an urge, always has a goal that you want to do something. And if you're playing with the objective, your performance is going to be more believable, because you put yourself in that moment. And so you put yourself in that moment. So if you actually want to focus on doing something and just do it on stage, that's going to be believable to the audience because you believe it. If you don't believe it, your audience will believe it. And so that's why Sandbox method, playing an objective, is key when it comes to Brian. Or any character I'm playing. And also the magic if as well. Or imagine yourself like abusive and all that. Like I imagine myself as a verbal abuser who drinks a lot, who's always after sex and all that. So I did some research on what did I do research on? I did some research on alcoholism abuse in the UK today, and it showed that a statistic of 70% of young people who use alcohol at a young age are going to grow up to be abusers, alcohol abusers, or physical abusers. So with that knowledge I got from research, I could get a good idea of what Brian's backstory was like. Like I picture him drinking at a young age and getting his first girlfriend while he's drinking, and as the years go by he becomes more dependent on the drink, it becomes more reliable on the drink, and it turns him into a person that is always after sex, always drinks a lot, always that. So I got that idea of it. And so, yeah, that was that question. Explain what you learned about character and you made yourself as a performer. Use examples and give reasons for your I touched upon this in the previous one, but what I've learned about Brian, I know that he's a physical abuser. He's a verbal abuser who abuses drink, who verbally abuses Marion, and he's always after sex. That's what I've learned about Brian. And with that knowledge, I am able to do research on those characteristics, and I am able to portray that research into the character of Brian. And like there's a line, for example, there's a line in the script that says, if you're gonna drink all of that yourself, then you might as well give me a fuck. Which means, which I get the idea is that he don't really care that Marion's drinking his alcohol, he's just after sex, so you might as well give me a fuck and all that. And so that then be quite straightforward and quite harassing. So I got that idea from him, and what I learned with me about the performer is I learned that I could, because I'm 20 years old, and I started doing like drama ever since I was, I think, 14, and in all my years, like 6 years of doing this, I've never had a character as Brian. I've never had that sort of character before. And for me to play Brian and play him good, I've learned by myself that I can actually do a performance as a character of Brian, and I'm able to, I don't know, be that bastard guy, be all creepy, be all disgusting and all that. That's what I've learned about me as a performer. I can literally play a character who is outside my comfort zone, because I've never got given a character like this before. And so that's what I've learned about me as a performer, and that's what I've learned about my character of Brian. And my other characters as well, but I've already touched upon them, but I'm only focusing on Brian right now because Brian's like my main character. Okay. Is there to explain where you let it go? Oh, that's really no problem. Planning goals and assessing. I think we've met some of them, but not all of them. The main one was to get a complete production by the end of half term. which we pretty much have. So that's a goal that we did as a company. But that was as a company, so that was good. But what I wanted to, there was a goal that I want to achieve since we started Road, but it only been achieved once and that's it. That was getting Betty in to do Brenda's part at the beginning, because it's always been Soraya, even today it's Soraya, and so obviously it's not Betty's fault. Like, people have their problems and that, but Betty's only done that scene with me once, and when she did do that scene, it wasn't that really good, cause she weren't always pestering me, and she weren't like trying to like get in my face on that. It had nothing. It basically had nothing for me to go on. They had nothing. Like I couldn't push her away, or couldn't like move away, because she wasn't coming towards me. If I did that, like try and push her away, it's just gonna look weird, because my objective is to get her away, but she's not making me get her away, if that makes sense. So that was a goal that needs to be achieved. That's Bay playing Brenda and all that. But other than that, all rehearsals, all planning, all reflection I did, I think each goal has been met. Like, whenever we get given to do a scene in individual groups, we do it. We don't like mess about. We don't like set aside on phones and that. No, we actually do it, and we actually get it done that day, which for anything is better than anything, because once we get it done that day, we can move on with it. We can show it to Ines, and then Ines can be like, okay, that's good, but we can tweak it a little bit. We can pull that back, push that forward, and all that. So every rehearsal and every planning goal has been met. I would say it needs to be. It probably needs to be tweaked a little bit, but we have 4 weeks left, so it's something that can definitely be done, and it's something that can definitely be achieved. So it's been achieved, and also the research that we've all been doing has been crucial to this process as well, because in the rehearsal process, everyone needs to be putting their full concentration, full commitment, full dedication, and when everyone did their research on that, it makes them deep into their characters more, gives them more believable performance. And so with that research that everyone did what they were meant to do. So that all the rehearsal things, all the plans, everything has been met. I'd say it could have been done faster, but everyone goes at their own pace. That's my only criticism on that. And so yeah, that was the evaluation and reflection on how the 5 weeks have been done in the FMP, and how we progressed as me as an individual and us as a company. So that was my evaluation reflection. Thank you.